they are operated with the use of an app. All right, so we will start talking about some pros of smart home devices here. So pros of smart home devices, one would be that you have remote access to the smart home device. So you do not need to be home to change your house temperature or see what the temperature is in your home. Say you're on vacation and you realize that the weather has turned while you were home, then you could certainly change the temperature in your home, from heat to air conditioning or something like that. You could see your security camera remotely. You can also get notifications, like if there's movement in your home or something along those lines. So you do get a lot of functionality that way, that you have remote access to smart home devices, so you don't need to be in your home to control something. Like you could turn on the lights remotely. There are energy saving benefits as well. Just with like a thermostat, it would be you can better program a thermostat so it can maybe go to a warmer temperature when you're not in the home, and a cooler temperature when you are in the home. Or maybe you can control your lights, so they're only turning on at a certain time every day, so you're not wasting electricity that way. There is a convenience factor. Just having everything controlled by your smartphone is very convenient, and so that is a good thing that way. There's also the automation of it. Like you could connect a smart device to a speaker or a phone. You can operate things like your thermostat, or even like your washing machine or your fridge. You could operate them, and different features of them from an app, which is convenient. There is also Ifttt, and that is if then that, and that allows you to create a series of events by connecting multiple smart devices. So you would have to have your smart devices connected to the Ifttt app, but then it would allow you to do things like, an example would be when your smoke detector goes off, you could also have the lights in your house flash at the same time. So you could connect those smart bulbs and your smoke detector to both be going off or flashing, and then the smoke detector beeping when smoke is detected in the home. Let's see here. All right, so I will keep going here. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is virtual assistants. And virtual assistants can be either like on a phone or a tablet, like Google Assistant or Apple Assistant, which is Siri, or they can be separate devices like Alexa or something along those lines. So these are virtual assistants, and virtual assistants can basically be connected to other smart home devices, and they can complete tasks for you. So you could ask your virtual assistant to look up the weather for you, or you could ask your virtual assistant, hey Alexa, can you turn on the living room lights, if you had smart bulbs connected to your Alexa device. You can also use it for finding information, finding recipes, etc. So virtual assistants can help you do tasks or find information. You can also connect devices, smart devices, to your virtual assistant, and you can control smart devices like a thermostat or smart bulbs, smart locks, all of these things to your virtual assistant as well, to do things like turn on the lights, change the temperature. So this is another way that you can automate smart devices in your home. So I've mentioned this already, but smart thermostats, these again require the Wi-Fi connection, and then also They are controlled by an app, but smart thermostats have benefits of energy saving. You can set a schedule for your temperature to change based on whether you're in the home or the time of day or the season of the year. So you can set a schedule for your thermostat, which does have energy saving benefits. You can change your temperature remotely. So you could be out of your home, open up the app, and then change the temperature remotely. Or if you're like me, you will be upstairs in your home and feel like, it's really kind of cool up here. I want the temperature to be warmer, so I would change the temperature remotely that way. You can also track your energy use using a smart thermostat, which is nice. And then a lot of smart thermostats these days have separate sensors that you can place in different rooms of your home. And those sensors allow you to better manage the temperature in your home. So you could, if you know the upstairs of your home is always warm, you could put a sensor in the warmest bedroom of the house, and then your thermostat is adjusting. It's recognizing that upstairs is several degrees warmer than maybe the room downstairs that your thermostat is in, and it will work to make that room cooler, sort of balance the temperature between the upstairs and the downstairs of the home. Another type of smart device are security devices, and these can be things such as home security systems, indoor or outdoor cameras, sensors like on doors or windows, smart doorbells, smart locks, and smoke and CO detectors. All of these at this point have many options on the market for smart devices, smart security devices, and they have all the benefits of any smart home device that I was talking about in terms of having remote access, the convenience of it, being able to control it with an app. So so security devices have become a popular smart home device. Things like a smart doorbell, they often have cameras on them. So if someone rings your doorbell, you could open up the app on your phone as an example, and then you would see who is at the door. Or it is recording footage, so if something happened outside your home, you could look back on footage with your app and you could see who stopped by your house at a certain time or something along those lines. Another type of smart home device is electrical appliances, and these are things like plugs, light bulbs, light switches, home appliances, TVs, speakers, and displays. So I've mentioned like smart lights and plugs, light switches, so this allows you to remotely control those things in your home with an app. It allows you to set up schedules for those, like if you would like lights to go on at a certain time of day as a security feature, you could certainly set that up. A lot of home appliances these days, like fridges or washing machines, dishwashers, are also smart devices, so you can control them remotely with the use of an app. And you can also track data about those devices as well on your smart, your phone. There are also smart speakers as well as smart TVs, which are also smart home devices. So there are some cons of smart home devices. Although they come with a lot of pros that I've talked about in this Tech Talk, there are certainly cons of smart home devices. One big con is privacy. So there are concerns, and rightfully so, concerns with privacy in smart home devices because it's been proven that devices like Alexa or Google Assistant, any of the assistants, they are having to use a microphone, and they can essentially listen to speaking in your home or any voice activated activity, so that they are ready to pick up if you say a command to the virtual assistant. But the issue with that is it's also recording just things that are happening in your home. And there's a lot of questions about if that is stepping over the line, if that's an infringement of privacy, etc. So there are quite a few privacy concerns out there, whether things like virtual assistants are listening to you, as well as are these smart home devices just collecting too much data, and what is happening with that data. So something to consider if you're considering a smart home device. Another con of a smart home device is really there may be some limited functionality. So although smart home devices are very convenient, you can control them remotely on your phone, they do rely on an internet connectivity being active in your home. So if you don't have Wi-Fi at home, you would really not be able to have smart home devices. If your internet went down, you would have more limited functionality of your smart home devices in your home. So there is that con there. And another one is that smart home devices are controlled by an app. So this is great, but it can also be an inconvenience. You do have to open up an app to control it. Some devices like thermostats, you can still go to the device itself, like the thermostat on your wall, and you can, change the temperature setting in your home, but not all smart home devices allow you to do that. So this is kind of a limit of smart home devices. So I did want to mention as well some great resources if you're looking into possibly buying smart home devices. These are some great places to read up on them and also read reviews of different smart home devices. So one of these is CNET, Wirecutter, which is from the New York Times, Consumer Reports, and Consumer Reports is free from the library. You can go to heightslibrary.org to gain access to that for free. You don't have to pay for it. And the fourth resource here is PC Mag, which would also have articles about smart home devices and reviews. All right, and that is the end of my presentation today. I will give a second if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, I will go ahead and end this live video. Thank you to anyone who joined me today, and I hope that this was a useful presentation to you. And have a good rest of your Wednesdays. Thank you.